Military history, from the First Boer War to the Second Opium War. War, a path to both victories and failures of human history. Today, we embark on a journey through time, exploring the captivating stories of two significant conflicts that shaped the course of military history. Welcome to the History Hub. Subscribe and let's dive in. In our first section, we trip ourselves to the charming landscapes of South Africa, the place a David versus Goliath story unfolded in the late 19th century, the First Boer War. It was the year 1880, and the mighty British Empire sought to extend its dominion over the prosperous assets of the Transvaal region. However, they encountered fierce resistance from the Boer farmers, descendants of Dutch settlers who had made the land their home. The Boers, outnumbered and outgunned, employed latest systems and guerrilla warfare to counter the overwhelming might of the British forces. They utilized their deep understanding of the terrain, placing unexpectedly and fading away into the huge South African landscape. This unconventional approach caught the British off guard, who had been accustomed to usual war on open battlefields. The Boers' tenacity and talent allowed them to preserve their field towards the Empire's onslaught, showcasing their power of dedication and home field advantage. As the struggle raged on, a clash of cultures and ideologies unfolded on the battlefields of the First Boer War. The Boers, deeply rooted in their Afrikaner heritage and self-governance, fought not only to protect their land but also to preserve their way of life. They believed in their cause, defending their farms, families, and freedom against the encroaching might of the British Empire. On the other side stood the British, a great empire with an experience of superiority and a want for territorial expansion. The war between the two forces uncovered the contrasting ideologies and the inherent tensions between imperialism and self-determination. The Boers' unwavering determination, mixed with their knowledge of the land and professional marksmanship, pressured the British to rethink their strategies and adapt to the challenges posed by using a determined local resistance. In our third section, we turn our attention to the British Empire's response to the resilient Boer resistance. Realizing the gravity of the situation, the British deployed greater troops and implemented a scorched earth policy, burning farms and destroying infrastructure to deprive the Boers of support and supplies. Despite these harsh tactics, the Boers continued to fight back, placing returns with deadly precision and making the war more and more challenging for the Empire to win. The British had to adapt their strategies and appoint unconventional methods to quell the Boer rebellion. The First Boer War became a grueling check of wills as the Boers' resilience and the Empire's determination clashed on South African soil. But who could have emerged victorious? Join us as we find the dramatic turning points that shaped the outcome of this historical war. With the First Boer War behind us, we now embark on a new chapter of military history, one that takes us to far reaches of East Asia at some stage in the mid-19th century, the Second Opium War. It used to be 1856, and an intoxicating combination of imperialist ambition, economic exploitation, and culture wars set the stage for one of the greatest wars in China's history. The war erupted between China's historical Middle Kingdom and a coalition of European powers, together with Britain and France. At the heart of the war lay the opium trade, which Chinese authorities sought to suppress due to the adverse consequences it had on their society. As tensions escalated, clashes erupted, drawing the world's interest to China's shores. The Second Opium War unleashed a storm of war, as armies clashed on land and navies battled for manipulation of the seas. The hostilities grew to be a battleground for ideologies, as the West's pursuit of economic dominance clashed with China's wish to defend its sovereignty and cultural identity. The stage used to be set for a war that would continuously change the route of East Asian history. As our journey through the Second Opium War continues, we explore the pivotal wars and far-reaching penalties that reverberated for the duration of the war. From the iconic siege of Canton to the excessive Battle of Taku Forts. The warfare witnessed fierce engagements on each land and sea. The European forces, armed with advanced weaponry, sought to dismantle China's normal defenses and assert their dominance. The Chinese, although outnumbered and outgunned, put up a valiant fight, defending their place of origin against foreign invaders. Yet, the might of European powers, mixed with inside strife inside China, tipped the scales in the desire of the imperialists. With the end of the war came a series of devastating consequences. Treaties had been imposed, territories had been ceded, and China used to be pressured to open its doorways to similarly overseas influence. The Opium War printed the vulnerabilities of an ancient empire in the face of a more and more effective and aggressive West. As our captivating journey through military history comes to a close, we reflect on the lasting legacies left behind by the First Boer War and the Second Opium War. The First Boer War showcased the power of determination and guerrilla warfare, educating the world that a smaller force, struggling with tenacity and know-how of the terrain, may want to overcome reputedly insurmountable odds. Meanwhile, the Second Opium War unveiled the risk of imperialism and highlighted the vulnerabilities of once mighty empires. It left China scared, but also ignited a spirit of reform and resistance that would form a country's future. These wars, although separated by the way of geography and time, reminds us of the enduring power of human resilience, the penalties of clashes between cultures, and the training that history imparts. Thank you for joining us on this interesting journey through the annals of military history. Remember, history has much to teach us if we're willing to listen. Until next time, this is the History Hub. Keep exploring the great history of the world.